Okay, let's jump right in. We're going to start with something nice and easy where we have to simplify the ratio. So basically think of it as like a fraction that you have to try and simplify to its simplest form. And I want you to try and simplify these two ratios. When you have answers, you can put them in the chat, or you can raise your hand and you can tell us your answers and explain how you got to your answer. But yeah, this is all revision. So Teacher Sam had taught you how to do this stuff. Let's see what you remember. And if you're struggling with something, just remember you can always ask a question. I'm happy to talk you through it. I'm also going to show you some quick, sneaky ways to help you with these questions. But I first want you to give them a go and give me some answers. Okay, so Tyler is saying a suggested answer for A is 4 to 5. Let's see if people agree or if they disagree. And let's see what comes up for B. Okay, lots of answers coming in. Okay, I'm seeing some really good answers. Absolutely. The first one, a lot of you got to the correct answer really quickly. It definitely is 4 to 5. So when we're trying to do a simplified ratio, we have to divide them by the same thing. So basically what's happening here is we are dividing this by 3, which gives us the 4, and we're dividing that by 3, which gives us the 5. And I can't simplify it any further than that. Now, an easy way for you to do this, if you're really struggling in a class situation, is if you put 12 over 15 as a fraction in your calculator, the 12 over 15, just like that, and you push equals, you will see that it simplifies it for you to 4 to 5. But then just remember, you need to write it in ratio form. You can't leave it as a fraction. So if you're doing it the sneaky way on the calculator, that's absolutely fine. It's there to help you. But then just remember, you do need to write it as a ratio. Okay. All right, now with that knowledge, those of you who weren't able to do B, give B a try for me. Let's see if a few more of you can get B now. If you were struggling first. And remember this trick that we've now just spoken about. It should be there to help you. Great. Absolutely. Our answer here is going to be 2 to 3. So what we were doing here is we are dividing by 12 on both sides. And again, if you used your calculator and you said 24 over 36, and you pushed equals, you would see that it's simplified it down for you to 2 to 3. Okay, so just remember to write it in its ratio form, and then we are good to go. No, it's okay. Don't worry about being late. We've just gotten started. We just started with these first 2 questions. Okay. C gets a little bit juicier. Who can tell me why C is a little bit juicier than A and B? What makes C different? There's a trap that has been set in question C. Can anyone find that trap? Yes, Tyler, can you tell me what my trap is?
Yes, ma'am, they're in different measurements, ma'am. Like, so one is in kilometers and one is in 3. I mean, it's in meters and the other one is in kilometers.
Beautiful. That is the perfect answer. Okay, so this first problem here is that they are in different units. The one is in kilometers and the one is in meters. So our first step is we need to make them the same units. Okay, so in this case, it would be easier to make them both meters. So start by first step making them both meters, and then we can simplify it as a normal ratio. Yes, Nelson. So Nelson, I can see that you're unmuted, but I can't hear you. So often that's due to a headphone situation. If you are using headphones, try and unplug them and plug them back in again.
We still can't hear you, Nelson, but you can definitely put your answer or your question on the chat. We'll be able to help you, or you can find an adult to come and help you quickly with the headset situation. Or it could be your mic, it could be anything.
Okay, so they definitely are. There are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. All right, which means that this is going to be 3,000 meters to 5,000 meters. And I see some answers were coming into the chat. So our simplified ratio is just going to be 3 to 5. How have we found this so far? Are we finding it easy? Are we finding it tricky? I'm going to give you one more and then I want to see what you got out of all 4. Oh, good. Excellent. That's exactly what I like to hear. Okay, so now for question D, it's a very similar situation as C. Be careful with the trap. And then tell me what my answer is. And then I want you to tell me what you got out of all 4, but I'll give you a moment to do that. Just think about how many seconds are in a minute. But that can also sometimes be a trap. Nice. So the direct message that I just got from Zoom user, that's an excellent start. Tyler, that's a great start. We can simplify it though. We can make that simpler. So basically some of the answers that are coming in so far, there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. Okay, which means that if there were 4 minutes, that's going to be 240 seconds to 15 seconds. So our first goal is just to get them to the same units. Now we're going to try and simplify it. So I know it looks different to the ones we've done because now the smaller numbers on the right-hand side. So when you put it into your calculator, you're always going to want to put the smaller number on top, but then you just need to remember where each one is going to go. That's my little clue to you. Because we can definitely simplify it from here. But you guys are doing so well. Nice job, Tyler. Excellent. Just be careful. It needs to be the other way around. So this side is going to be the 16 and this side is going to be the 1. It's really important that we get that order correct. So guys, for this question, if you went onto your calculators here and you said 15 over 240 and you pushed equals, you would have gotten 1 over 16. And so then it's very easy to write 1 to 16, but we need to remember that the 240 was at the bottom. So my 16 is at the bottom and the 240 is on the left. So my 16 is on the left. So make sure that they are in the same place as each other. Okay, the bigger number will always be on the side that the bigger number was. So this was 240, which is much bigger than 15, which means 16 will be on the left because that's much bigger than 1. Nice job, guys. Okay, so these first, oh gosh, sorry. these first 4 questions over here, that's this first section. I want you to tell me, so I want you to give yourselves, this one, I want you to give yourselves 1 mark for each of those, 2 marks for this one, and 2 marks for this one. So overall, this would be out of 6. I want to know from you guys what we got for this first little section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What did we get out of 6 for this first section? Let me know. And if you are still feeling confused about something, just ask. Nice, guys. These are awesome marks so far. Epic. I think quite a few of the 5s are the 16 and the 1 that are just the wrong way around, but now you know for next time. Rad. Awesome. Awesome, nice, guys. Woohoo. Okay. So that means we know how to simplify our ratios. We are on a roll. Now we're going to take it into a slightly different thing. Now we're going to be dividing a quantity given a ratio. So in this case, we're being asked to divide 72 kilograms in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. Let's see what you remember. So when you give me my final answer, you can give me the 3 amounts as a ratio, or you can give me the 3 amounts separately. I don't mind, but I would like to know how I could go about doing this question. Let's see. Just give it your best go. See if you can dig really deep in your brain and see what you can remember. Oh, no problem. I can, after this question, I'm just going to make a little note to myself. After this question, we'll pop back up and I'll let you take a screenshot of example 1.
Blessed, I think, is asking about how did we get the 240. So Blessed maybe needs to take a screenshot so you can see how we got the 240.
Okay, I'll re-explain that 240 when we pop back up there after this one.
Nice, thank you.
No worries. So this one, we are now dividing ratios, dividing a quantity by ratios. I'll give you a little bit extra time and then we can talk through this one and see how we go. Getting some answers coming in. I'm just going to give you a little bit more time to give it a try. And then you can see where you went right and where you went wrong. Remember, with maths, you learn far more by trying. So if you're sort of just watching me go through it, none of that's going to go into your head. But if you try, even if you do it completely wrong and you make horrible mistakes, but you've given it a go, when we talk about it, it's much easier to see where you went wrong than sort of not giving it a go. Yeah. So when we have to divide a quantity by a ratio, the first thing that we want to do is we want to have a look at these numbers over here. And we want to add them up. So we want to get a total. So we want to say 3 plus 4 plus 5. And we want to see what that's equal to. So in this case, that's going to be equal to 12. Okay. Yes, Siyabonga, exactly. All right. So basically that's saying, imagine we had a pizza. We're cutting our pizza into 12 slices. This person's going to have 3 slices. This person's going to have 4 slices. And this person's going to have 5. Okay. So it's basically we're just trying to figure out what our total is. And then we're going to use that part of what that person's going to get, and we're going to times it by the quantity. So our first person has 3 over 12, because that's my total, times 72. This is one way to do it. I'll show you another way to do it as well. You can then, from this point, you can just pop that straight into your calculator, exactly like that. So you can just say 3 over 12 times 72, and you'll get your total of 18. So that first person would be 18 kilograms. Then you look at your next one. So your next one is a 4. So we're going to say 4 over 12 times 72. So we just pop that again straight into the calculator. 4 over 12 times 72. And that gives us 24 kilograms. Then we look at our last one, and that's a 5. So we're going to say 5 over 12 times 72. And you can also just say 72 minus all of these if you want to. And that's going to give us 30 kilograms. And then to check that we're 100% right, we want to add all of these up. And when we add them up, if we don't get 72, then we know we've gone wrong somewhere, because we need to get that end quantity. So this is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is, once you have this total over here, you just take your quantity. So you say 72 divided by 12, and you get your value for that. So 72 divided by 12 gives us 6. And then when you have that number, you multiply it by each one of those numbers. So 6 times 3, which gives you 18. 6 times 4, which gives you 24. 6 times 5, which gives you 13. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about what is currently on the board, or feeling confused about it, or not understanding where any of the numbers are coming from? Anything. This is your time to ask. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to sort of bring your thoughts together, but if you need help, let me know. Beautiful. Nice job, guys. Yes. Is it Lexa or Lex? Yeah?
Sorry, ma'am, could I please ask, how did you fully simplify the answer?
How did I fully simplify the answer?
Yes, ma'am.
So which part are you meaning that was simplified?
The part that says 18 is equal to 24 kg is equal to 24 is equal to 30 kg.
So that's each of these ones. So they separate. So this is saying 3 over 12 times 72. If I pop that into my calculator, I get the answer 18. So that's my first ratio. And then my second one, I'm getting, if I have 4 over 12 times 72, then I get the 24 kilograms. So I'm just working out what each one of these ratios was.
What about the last one, ma'am?
The last one was the 5.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Nice. All right. I promised that I would go back up quickly so that you could see the previous question and take a screenshot if you'd like. So I'm just going to pop up. Yeah, so from here, this is different. So we wouldn't want to simplify from here. We want to get these answers. So our final answer would be 18, 24, and 30. You could write it as I've done here in the blocks, or you could write your final answer as a ratio. So you could write 18 to 24 to 30. But that's where we would stop. We definitely wouldn't simplify, because we'd land up getting the same as our question. We'd get 3 to 4 to 5. Okay. All right, so this was example 1. For anyone who needed to take a screenshot, you can. And how we got the 240, the question that was happening here, is because in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. So in 4 minutes, there would be 240 seconds. So all we're doing there is we're saying 60 times 4, and that gives us the 240. Okay, so if you want to take a screenshot of this, please feel free. And then I'm going to scroll down to our next one. And if you would like to take a screenshot of this question, please feel free. And then I would like you to do the same thing that we have just done now. So if you didn't know how to do it, hopefully now you feel a little bit more confident. And I'd like you to give question B a go. So it's the same concept. It's now 10,000 Rand, and we are dividing it in the ratio 2 to 3 to 5. So think about how we did A, and that should help you with B. By B, could it not be 8, 12? Nelson, I'm not entirely sure what you're asking in your question.
Then I think they mean on example 1. So if we go to example 1,
Oh,
for
example
number
1B. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nelson, we can't, if we made it 12 and 18, so we divided both of them by 2, that isn't as simplified as it can go. We always want it to be as simplified as it can be. So if I have a final answer of 12 to 18, I can still divide both of those by something more. And so because I can divide it by something more, I'd need to be able to make it more simple. I need to simplify it further. Okay. Yes, we have got a volunteer, or do we have a question? How can I help? Or are you going to tell us things? No problem, Nelson. Nice work, guys. You're doing really, really well with this.
Malisela's hand is up. I don't know if it's to ask something, Malisela.
I tried to unmute, but nothing was happening.
Malisela, you need to unmute on your side. There's a pop-up box that comes on your screen. So you need to click on it. Let me just check up on Malisela if Malisela is doing what he needs to do or not. Oh, Malisela disappeared now. I can't find him.
Okay, so for this one, when we add them together, we get a lovely answer of 10. And so I'm going to just keep it in the exact same format. So I'm going to say 2 over 10 times 10,000, and that gives us 2,000. Then we've got 3 over 10 times 10,000, which gives us 3,000. And 5 over 10 times 10,000, which gives us 5,000. And so you can write it as whole numbers like that, or you could write it as a ratio. Both of those answers are 100% okay. So whichever one you did is great. But I see lots of the correct answer, which is awesome. Nice job. Okay, I'm going to scroll out a little bit. So if you're wanting to take a screenshot of this whole section, so of example 2, then you can. So after this, we're going to go into a quick brain break, and then we're going to jump into some more questions. You guys are doing awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so first, a little brain break over here. And I'm going to use Teacher Sam's amazing jokes as bribery. So if I get the right answer for our brain break, if someone's able to figure out our brain break, then I will show you Teacher Sam's very funny joke. But if we don't have anyone who solves it, I'm not going to show you the amazing joke. I'm playing hardball.
Come on, guys, we can do this. I want to see Teacher Sam's joke, okay? I need to see the joke. It makes up all my day on Wednesday and on Monday. So you better get it right. Let's go. Let's go. Just be careful, okay? Be careful because the first row, you need to make sure that it adds up to 36.
Guys, I'm liking your answers so far. I'm liking what's coming through. It's a great start. A good start. Very good start, guys. I like where we're going. I definitely agree that those are 12. So I'm wanting to find out what this final answer is over here. I want to know what that question mark is. Now remember, this multiplication has to happen before we add. So I have to say something times 12 plus 12 is going to give me the 132. Who can figure out the flowers? Swazi, is that your final answer, or is that part of your working? I'm liking that answer of the flower being 10. Good. Nice work, guys. Nice work. Nice work. So we've got our flower sorted. Now we've got to figure out our leaf situation. So now remember again, this times this plus 10 has to give us 410. Times 200 is going to give us 4,000. No, it's going to give us 40,000. 20 times 20. Okay. Yes. 20 times 20. What does this make this one over here, though? All right, guys. What is our final answer? I mean, I did see the right answer in the mix of some very wrong answers. So we have to do this multiplication first. So 10 times 12 is going to be 120, and 120 plus 10 gives us 130. I did see some people who got 130. Just some very, very strange answers in the mix there. Nice job, guys. You have earned yourself Teacher Sam's joke of the day. Let's go and have a look and see what it is. What did the Italians, I should rather say, what did the Italians say when they lost their grandmothers? What did the Italians say when they lost their grandmothers? Who thinks they can guess? Haven't got anyone? No guessing? Oh dear. Not a gun!
Oh, what?
See, a nonagon is also a shape. That's why this is so great. The maths, Italian grandmothers all mixed into one beautiful situation. Okay, let's keep on moving. So let's move on to example 3. Okay. All right, Yolanda is driving from Johannesburg to Cape Town, a total distance of 1,400 kilometers. The trip takes her 13 hours and 30 minutes. Teacher Jen is driving from Cape Town to Durban, a total distance of 1,640 kilometers. It takes her 15 hours. Determine who maintained the higher average speed for their trip. Okay, so we're going to break this down into like little pieces to try and help us out a little bit. So we've got 2 situations. We've got Yolanda's trip over here. Okay, and then we've got Teacher Jen's trip over here. How do I work out speed? How do I work out speed? Think of your little triangle. How do we work out speed? What is speed equal to? No answers? How do we work out speed? Good time is involved in speed, absolutely. Yes, Samawaki, can you tell me, how do I work out speed?
Ma'am, isn't you work it out also by saying speed times time?
So speed times time is going to give us our distance, which is absolutely true, 100%. If we're wanting to just know what our speed is, then we're going to say distance divided by time. So we're just going to say the distance divided by the time. And the distance needs to be in kilometers and the time needs to be in hours. Okay, so that's our first step. So for Yolanda's trip, what is her distance and what is her time? What is Yolanda's distance? So read the story carefully. What is Yolanda's distance?
Oh, I love the fact that my name is there. And I'm like, yes, guys, what is my distance? Y'all better tell me.
And oh goodness, just like knocked my whole table over. What is Yolanda's time? How long did it take Yolanda to do this? Now remember, my answer needs to be in hours here. So I can't say 13 hours and 30 minutes. I need it to be in hours. What is Yolanda's time? Beautiful, Tyler. You didn't fall for the trap. That's great. Okay, so Yolanda's time is going to be 13,5. The reason it's going to be 5, because I can see you like, well, it's 30 minutes. Remember, 30 minutes is half an hour. Okay, so you could write it as 13,5. If you were feeling uncomfortable, you could also write it as 13 and a half. whichever one you prefer. Okay, now let's look at teacher Jen. So what is teacher Jen's distance and what is teacher Jen's time? So look at the story very carefully. What is teacher Jen's distance? And then what is teacher Jen's time? Beautiful. Okay. Nice. Distance 1640 and 15 hours. Beautiful. Okay, we don't have to do anything funny here. So 1640 and 15. Now you have everything you need. You've got the distance and you've got the time for both. So you can work out the speed for Yolanda and you can work out the speed for Jen. And then you can compare them and see who had the higher average speed. Okay, just make sure you work through each one nice and carefully. I'm going to write them up here because I don't really have space. So Yolanda speed is equal to 1400 divided by 13.5. Then we can pop that straight into our calculator. So 1400 divided by 13,5, which gives us 103,70 kilometers per hour. And then we've got Jen's speed, which is equal to 1640 over 15. And we can pop that straight into our calculator. And we get a total of 109,33 kilometers per hour. So of those two, who has the higher average speed? Does Yolanda have the higher average speed or does Jen have the higher average speed? Jen, good. So the key with these ones is just always remember your little distance, speed, time triangle. And that always helps you know how to work out each thing. Beautiful. Yes, how can I help? Oh, hand disappeared. Okay. Take a screenshot if you'd like, and we'll move on to our next question. Okay. All right. A penguin's body temperature drops from 39 degrees to 10 degrees. I'm just going to highlight these as we go. From 39 degrees to 10 degrees in 5 minutes. Determine the rate at which the body temperature changed in degrees per minute. Okay, now this is our key. That's telling us what it wants. It wants us to take our degrees and it wants us to divide it by the minute. So we want to get our minutes to be 1, basically. So our first question here is, if the penguin's body temperature was 39 degrees and it jumped to 10 degrees, how much was the change? How much did its body temperature change in those 5 minutes? Don't overthink it. Don't try and jump ahead to get to your final answer. The first question is just, how much did the penguin's body temperature change if it was at 39 and it dropped to 10 degrees? How many degrees change was there? Beautiful. Yes, Tyler. So it was 39 degrees and it dropped to 10. And so it was 29 degrees Celsius change. That's how much the temperature changed. Okay. So now the thing is, with rate, you can always do it as a ratio. Rate and ratio are the same thing. So at the moment, the temperature, well, let's just write it as degrees Celsius to time, is 29 degrees to 5 minutes. And they are wanting to know what it is for 1 minute, because they're telling you that they want to know, that line is saying per minute, which means they want to know for 1 minute. Yeah, absolutely. I'll pop back up so you can take a screenshot after this question. So think about what you did to get from 5 to 1, and then you want to do the same thing on the other side. And then you'll be able to get your rate. So keep it with the decimal place. So good, we divided by 5 here, so we need to divide by 5 here. So we get 5,8. And so our final answer is going to be 5,8 degrees Celsius per minute, because we want to give our answer as rate. Tyler, how can I help?
Ma'am, wouldn't you round it up to make it 6?
No, unless they ask you in the question to round it to a whole number, always leave it to 1 or 2 decimal places.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, take a screenshot if you would like. Oh, let's try again. Tanawake. I see this hand. Hello.
Ma'am, how did you get, ma'am, to 5,8?
So I got the 5,8 by taking this 29 and I divided it by 5, and that's what gave me the 5,8. And the reason we divided by 5 is because on this side we had a 5 and a 1, and in order to get from 5 to 1, we would need to divide that by 5. Okay, take a screenshot. I'm going to scroll up for those who wanted a screenshot of the previous example. If you would like a screenshot of this one, please feel free to take it. Ooh. Okay, give you a little bit of extra time with this one now as well. Cool. Okay. And now we move on to proportion, which is actually what we did in our last lesson together on Monday. So let's have a look. So this is saying 15 books cost 1,860 Rand. How much would 7 books cost? So my question to you is this direct proportion or is this inverse proportion? Remember, direct means they both go up or they both go down, and inverse, one goes up, one goes down. So if I buy more books, would it cost more money? If I buy less books, would it cost less money? Nelson, 100%. It absolutely is direct proportion. And the reason it's direct is because if I buy more books, it will cost more money. If it is direct proportion, that means we want to work in ratios. So we want to have books to money. So 15 books to 1,860 Rand. And we are trying to figure out how much 7 books is going to cost. So I'm going to divide up and times over. So I'm going to say 7 divided by 15 times 1,860. 7 divided by 15. And we get the answer of 868 Rand. 868 Rand. Nice. Okay, question 2 is an extension of question 1. So it's the same idea. So we've got books to money. So we have 15 books is 1,860. How many books can I buy from 2,604 Rand? So do the exact same idea, except now we are working out the number of books. So we got the 7 from the question. So the question said how much would 7 books cost? So we put that 7 over there under the books. Okay, same idea. Divide up times over. So in our calculator, 2,604 divided by 1,860 times 15. 2,604 divided by 1,860 times 15, and that gives us 21 books. Awesome, guys. Take a screenshot if you would like one. Okay. Cool. All right, question 2. It takes 96 hours for 3 fruit pickers to clear an orchard. I'm not sure how to say that correctly. Complete the table below. So we have number of pickers and then we have the number of hours that it's going to take. Is this going to be direct proportion or is this going to be inverse proportion? If I have more pickers, is it going to take less time? Or if I have more pickers, will it take more time? Is this going to be direct or is this going to be inverse? Inverse. Nice. Good job. Okay. And if it's inverse, then we have our special friend, the constant product. Okay. And we need to figure out what our constant product is by multiplying those two together. So 3 times 96, that gives us 288. And so that is our constant product. So if we multiply all of these together, so 6 times something that we have to figure out, that has to equal 288. And the same over here, and the same for the rest. So what's going to be the number that's going to be under the 6? How would we work out this number over here? Beautiful. It's definitely going to be 48. And how do we do that? We just said 288, which is our magic number. We divided it by 6, and that gave us 48. Beautiful. So now I want to know what number is going to be here with my 36. Nice, Loazi. Beautiful. Nice, guys. Now I want to know my 18. Yes, 16. Okay, last block. What's going to be above my 12? 24. Awesome work, guys. Nice.